Oh my God! Guess what we got? Guess what we got a email from?
It's got to be Durbin or Hughley.
No, this is unbelievable. Mike Fegan.
Oh, great!
The fuck is that?
Mike Fegan is the social justice warrior of our YouTube page. It's constantly saying that our show is toxic trash. Me and you are washed up jobbers, and we are misogynistic and racist.
Yes,
right.
Mm-hmm.
That's this guy from the YouTube channel. Right. So here we go. And the subject is Killer Kross and WWE. While I'm no fan of your show, but by the way, this guy, I've seen a lot of his. I see his comments in the YouTube section whenever I go. I see him got an argument with somebody, and this guy was claiming that he has his own podcast. Oh, so, really? Joe, have there been rumors about who this Mike Fegan guy is? Probably parading as.
There have been rumors that it's actually the guy from Wrestling. So I'm not.
So if this is, we're on to you, /, you quote unquote Mike Fegan. All right. So let's hear this. Let's hear this email. Well, I'm no fan of you. I think somebody actually in the YouTube section told Mike Fegan to send in an email. So maybe this is like on that direction, if I'm correct. While I'm no fan of your show, thanks to my contacts and friends within the professional...
Okay, wait a minute. If you're not a fan of the show, why are you writing into it? Why are you even talking to us?
And he is all over the YouTube page. There's not a clip that doesn't have a comment or something about him.
Okay, but I don't understand. If
us.
I'm not a fan of a show, I'm not going to write into it,
right?
Okay? Or ask a question.
Joe, look up some of the YouTube things, some of the controversial things, and go to the Mike Fegan comments and see some of the comments he's made about us while I'm reading this. While I'm no fan of your show, thanks to my contacts and friends within the professional industry that you, Conan, and Disco have a close connection with Killer Kross. Kross is a better talent than either of you two ever were there, man. But I want to know, how long do you think Killer Kross will be in NXT, and what do you see are the chances of him really getting over in WWE, or what they turn him just another name? I think this is a fake Mike Fegan email, to be honest with you, because I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think you should even answer anything.
Yeah, this is like an infiltration. This looks like it could be somebody pretending to be Mike Fegan.
What's the email?
Right.
What's the email address?
MikeFegan4@gmail.com. That kind of sounds like Russian vids
11.
For like all those Russian. Yeah. This could be shady.
Yeah.
What do we think about Kross?
Every member of this is the Mike Fegan guy, right? I hope every member of CZW, past and present, and ECW use you as a human glory hole. Nothing.
Beautiful.
I will say this about Killer Kross. I think we've been very clear. The chances of getting over are very good. Guys, very good. I will say I don't know what you know how you get the WWE, things can happen, right? I will say this. When he's done with the WWE, he'll be looked at as one of the better performers when he was there. That's my prediction. So
I saw a
let me just say one thing about him. You're getting something gift wrapped. Don't fuck it up. You know what I'm saying?
I watched Kross must have done a shoot interview before I think it was after MLW, actually. And I don't watch too much of that stuff anymore, but I wanted to watch because it was Kross, and it was great. Great stuff. I would recommend it to anyone to watch, to hear his...
Which one?
Feinstein did a shoot interview with him for RF Video. I sent you a clip, actually, where he was talking about you.
Put me over?
Yeah.
So
I would recommend that for sure.
The next one, and you know, and I think Kross was on record on Twitter recently saying that I was his primary trainer.
Yeah.
And just let me say this. I was not Kross's primary trainer in such that like I put in the time. But I think Kross will tell you that the knowledge I gave him when we were together is the stuff that helps him elevate above the rest of the crowd. It's like, you know, I didn't teach him the basics, the arm drag and stuff thing. I taught him something. You know, one thing I taught Kross, and this is like how why he's so good at marketing himself. You know that shot of Muhammad Ali standing over Sonny Liston?
Yep. That
famous painting. I go, everybody on Twitter constantly always posts these pics of like, you know, post these spots of dives and everything. I go, iconic photos like that of you standing over your opponent. I go, that image means more than like the other stuff you see, because it's just it's like an iconic. So I've always told him, you know, you get over with your persona by like destroying a guy and just standing over him. You know, and the people getting that visual, here's a guy just lying at your feet and you've destroyed this guy. You know, when you hit him with a big move, you get more out of that type of posturing than the actual move. You know, it just looks impressive. And I'm like, that's one of the things you see the way his body language is when he works, he comes across as a larger than life figure. And says that's the things that you have to do is slow things down and gestate. Me and Conan were talking about just basic things about work. Back in the days, Conan used to do. The reason Conan and Vamp elevated themselves through the ranks very quickly is that they would listen to the people and do things that got pops. Because you listen to the crowd, work the crowd, do things that pops the crowd. You're getting a lot of pops out there because you're doing things to pop the crowd. Guys go out now and they basically script their matches out. And you don't know if the people are going to pop or not, or whether they're doing, but they're popping for a thing you're doing, but you've already laid out the next thing to do. So instead of eating the pop, you're moving on to something else. And
or
it's so the pop,
even elongating the pop. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. So it's so. And I said, what does wrestling look like today? I said, it looks choreographed. It looks like you guys are sitting in the locker room, you've laid out everything out, and you're not, because you've laid it all out, you haven't really laid out, we're going to get a good pop here, we're going to milk it, you just could go on to the next thing, as opposed to learning how to work in the ring and calling it in the ring. You do things, and if they get a pop, you know where you're at. You just do things that they get pops. You call it out there. It doesn't look scripted and stuff. And that's just that's the basic difference with the way wrestling's changed. If you look at it, we were talking about the other day. Do you agree with that, Joe? If you look at the way wrestling was, the way it is now.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
Did you want to hear a few of these Mike Fegan?
Yeah, let's hear some Mike Fegans. Read the title of the YouTube, the conversation, then read what Mike Fegan says.
All right, so this is Disco and Conan discuss Tessa Blanchard. Mike Fegan's comment is, Impact is a hot garbage trash show, much like this awful, terrible podcast. That's why no one listens to this awful show, except, Mike Fegan on every clip ever. But
right.
Conan and Disco discuss Dave Meltzer and AEW. Mike Fegan, I'll tell you who doesn't know how wrestling works. Disco and Conan with their terrible careers and horrible, toxic attitudes. The show is terrible.
But let me ask you a question. This guy, who do you think it is?
That's what I've heard, yeah.
Rumors.
Okay, who's I know I've heard of him.
It's one of the guys from the Reality Network thing that Joe was part of the thing, and they branched off, and these guys are challenge him to.
Yeah.
So why are we being attacked? Why isn't Joe being attacked?
They're going to sue
because it's the same show. These guys are at the heart of the Mark World Order
wars.
Arguments.
John Cole.
Okay, these are the guys that start. Is that the guy that sent us some food one time?
No, that's Dave. That's Dave Radigan. No, Dave is.
Are you friends with him?
Dave left their little clique, and I'm friends with Dave.
Oh,
again,
so
yeah.
Well, you're friends with Dave again?
Yeah, Radigan left those guys.
Okay, so he's cool because he has the food. He actually wasn't as geeky as I would have thought. So because he works out and stuff and everything.
But,
he's
I think
plus I saw him in Miami. I saw him in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
He was a cool dude.
Yeah. So the other thing was Nash co-hosted that Vampiro podcast for 3-4 episodes, whatever it was. Now, if Vampiro was going to come and do a show with Creative Control, now that's even more heat and stuff because I'm going to succeed where he failed. But other than that,
I doubt anybody succeeds with Vamp, but go ahead.
I'm going to give it a
next
shot.
one.